So here we want to write an equation, and they give us the graph. So we sort of have to undo dab C. Now I wrote dab C, and I wrote a big line here because the D, the A, and the B part will be the same whether you do a sine graph or a cosine graph. What can change is the C value. So we start with our D and our A value. They're really easy. You see if you can see your center line. If you can't see your center line, does it make sense that your center line would be right in between your maximum and your minimum? So if my maximum is 6 and my minimum is 4, if I just find the average of those, 6 plus negative 4 is 2, and divide by 2, my average would be 1. My D value is 1. You can double check if you got the right D value because your amplitude should be the same distance to the top as it is to the bottom. So I count 5 squares up and 5 squares down. So my amplitude is 5. I double check that my scale is going by ones, and it is, so my amplitude is 5. The B value is going to be a little bit more tricky to figure out because your B value is related to your period, and your period is how long it takes to repeat itself. I chose 2 minimum values. You could choose 2 maximum values or the middle going up. But what I did is I found those 2 values, and then I counted how many boxes that was, and it was 8 boxes. On my scale, 1 box is pi over 12. So if this is 8 of those ticky marks, I would have 8 pi over 12, which reduces to 2 pi over 3. I mean, maybe you also do that by saying this length right here, if I moved it up and started at 0, can you see, there, did I draw it? Oh, I didn't draw it all the way. Great. Start that way. This length from here to here, did anybody just say, oh, if I just move that 1 back, that matches up with 2 pi over 3 on my scale? Another way you could figure out your period was 2 pi over 3. But what I did is I counted how many boxes it was between these two and got 8 of them. Found out that 1 of those ticky marks was pi over 12. So I get 8 pi over 12. That finds my period. It doesn't solve for my B value. We have 2 formulas. We have period is 2 pi over B, and we have B is 2 pi over the period. Now normally if you're solving for the B value, you would use this formula, that B is 2 pi over the period, plug in your period, which we know is 2 pi over 3, fraction divided by fraction, multiply by the reciprocal, simplify, and you get 3. There is a shortcut that I highlighted in the purple and the orange. Once I got the period to be 2 pi over 3, if I would have thought of this formula that the period is 2 pi over my B value, by observation, can you see that the B value has to be 3? Because it's in the form already, 2 pi over B, it's 2 pi over 3, so the B value has to be 3. So now we've got the dab part, 1, 5, and 3. With that, we can put in, and I did it all in black, I put in the A value, put in the B value, put in the D value. The only thing I left out was my C value. And I could make a sine graph, or I could make a cosine graph with this. All that changes is where the graph starts. So if we think about sine, a sine graph normally starts in the middle going up. So I went to my graph, and in purple, I labeled where was the middle going up. That's 3 boxes to the right. So I wrote minus 3 pi over 12 because it's been shifted 3 boxes to the right. I could have done a cos graph. On a cos graph, it normally starts at a maximum. I looked, and my maximum was shifted 5 boxes to the right. So to do a translation of 5 boxes to the right, I need a minus 5 pi over 12. We could write a negative cos graph if we wanted to start at the minimum. We could write a negative sine graph if we wanted to start in the middle going down. There is an infinite amount of possible equations that would be right, just depending on which starting point you choose. If you had chosen, minimums are often chosen to see how down the closest one to the x-axis. So if I chose and did a negative cos graph, I'd have negative 5 cos. I'd still have the 3. I'd still have the plus 1. But now I would shift, what color haven't I used? We'll go orange. right? Now there's the minimum going up, that's shifted over one box to the right, so I would have minus pi over 12. So we have different options. When we're asked to find the equation, we have lots of options. If I give you an equation, there's only one graph you can draw. But given a graph, there's multiple equations you can make, and you'd have choice there. Sometimes on a test, they say, write one with sine, one with cos. This one said in terms of sine, so then this would be the one that you're looking for. Or you could do a negative sine one, or you could have chosen, here's another place in the middle going up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boxes to the right. So you could have a minus 11 pi over 12, and that would also be right.